Thanks, man. Shut that for me. Ha ha! So today has been the most insane day. So many things go on today, so it has been nice to get past it. I wasn't even going to say anything, but it was starting to get to the point where I was like looking around like, am I being punked? Am I being screwed with right now? Am I being fucked with right now? I'm super happy. It has been 8 episodes of Ben Knows Nothing, and I feel a difference. I feel a huge difference in my personality. I feel a huge difference in my communication with everyone. I feel just better, and I think it has to do with, changing things up and doing things, for myself. I kind of had to follow and, just change something, just really switch some things up, and I really enjoyed it. So so a lot of really exciting things. We've been extremely busy. I know that a lot of gyms are opening up to 90%, starting the 19th, I believe, 100%, 90%, which we never really had, wasn't any big of an issue. But anyway, so for us, spring has started, summer started, things are getting busier. But for the very first time, huge news for me in the past 16 years of me working. I lied on a job application when I was 15 to get a job at a auto detailing place, and I lied to him and said that I was 16, so I didn't have to get anybody's, permission, or I think I just had my friend's mom say it. So I got a job, and I knew that work ethic was going to be something that played a huge part into my life even then, just because I didn't really pay too much attention in school. It wasn't something I really liked. So I've been working 6-7 days a week for 16 years now. And for the very first time in my entire working life, it's been since I very first started, I've worked 6 to 7 days a week. So starting in April, I believe it's April 17th, I won't be working Saturdays anymore. I'm going to be switching it up. I'm going to actually go Monday to Friday and take off Saturday and Sunday. It'll help, so then that way I can put out better content, put out a better version of myself, do better with my clients, my career, my family, my friends. I'm just super excited about it. I got the, for some people it's not that, you're still switching a day, you're still, but, to be able to have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, type of, job is something, that I never thought I was going to have. I always thought I was going to be the type of person to have to work on, Saturdays and Sundays, and I have no problem doing it. I just feel like I need to change up, and here we go. So I am super excited for that type of change in my career, and I'm very excited to see what it does to my creativity and the people that I affect. So I got to thank all my my clients, my family, my friends, and for always, the people who have supported me. I've kept a really small circle, and it's been great. So, seriously, yeah, I'm super, super excited and very excited for the future. And like I said, these 8 episodes have been phenomenal, just kind of going through. So what has happened in the past 12 to 14 hours? And I'm going to kind of follow along with this. And this is probably something maybe not so expected for some of you. I saw this video. It was sent to me on my Instagram, and it is so ridiculous that I have to review it. So let's just roll it. It's Bath and Body Works in Scottsdale. Oh. Bath and Body Works employees rolling deep. They got 3 on her. Oh, they got her friends coming in. Oh, that's 4 on her. Her friends coming in. Oop, a belly is showing. The belly has been shown. Oh, wow. Look at these. This is... Dude, you can't get this many people to jump in with you in high school. This is amazing. Dude, Bath and Body Works does not play. Yeah, let's get out. You don't have the right body butter you need. Move it. Yep, we don't have sandalwood. You need to go. Yeah, that bath bomb, rose water, made of rose water, you do not have. You need to go. Oh my God. That is ridiculous. When Karens attack, Yo, take it. Yeah, take an antibacterial soap while you're at it. It's COVID, girl. That is a ridiculous video. After putting in, we'll go right into it. So hell yeah and hell no. So, going into this, I need to kind of say I'm not going to get all ultra nerdy on everybody and start talking about Batman. But here's the thing. Okay, so we had, as far as Batman, hell yeah or hell no. Now, I also said drop a DM, who's Batman to you? Jean English says Bale. Christian Bale is Batman to her. And Elisa says that Bale is Batman to her. Nicole Mitchell, Nikki, says that Bale is Batman to her. Sean Phillips Morris, just such an odd name. Bale is hers. Then we get to this. Lori Fascia. Val Kilmer is hot, so I have to pick him as my Batman. Smirk face. As I replied, you would. Yeah, I'm sorry. Clooney and Val Kilmer are out for me as a Batman. So really we're talking Adam West, Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck. Now, Adam West is great, but also old, and his costume looks ridiculous to now standards. I get it. Back then, that's different. Michael Keaton, to me, is top two for Batman. I grew up on Keaton, or kind of watched his movies on VHS, dating myself, and doing that. So Keaton was good. And then you have Bale, who's amazing. He's absolutely amazing as Batman. It's like, if you make this voice, that's all you think of, is Christian Bale playing Batman. But then you have Ben Affleck. And Affleck, I think his past is what screws me up. I always picture him he'd be like, oh my God, we got to, call Batman. And then all of a sudden he looks at the camera and he's like, whose car we taking? It sucks because I always picture him with a accent, or I always picture him, in these Boston roles. The Town was so good, and Good Will Hunting was so good, and all those movies that he's in where he has, he's really adopted that part, and he should, because that's his place. But still, so to me, Christian Bale is definitely Batman. To me, is Batman. And now we have Robert Pattinson. We have to talk about him, but we haven't seen it yet. And he has been plagued by one movie, Twilight. So we gotta see how it's going. He had a diamond skin. He was a vampire. And he also had he was with the person with the emotional range of a shrub, Kristen Stewart, who it's like, it was so bad, the acting. Her, they all had to carry her. It sucked. Then he did actually carry her in the movie. So listen. Batman, hell yeah for me. And 79% of you said hell yeah, and 21% of you said hell no. Now, the next one we have to talk about is that fake booty cutie, okay? That plastic Penelope, you know what I mean? That plastic peach. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about booty implants here. Now, remember, Sir Mix-a-Lot, when he did say something, he said, my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. But I think he was talking about biological buns. I think he wasn't saying, like, my anaconda don't want none unless you got plastic buns, hun. If you're going to put, like, pillowcases in your, in your skin, cut your butts and put like, pillows in your butt. I don't even know what they use. They use, like almost like a silicone or like a piece of plastic. You should pretty much shoving plastics on your cheeks. And now I've seen some of these surgeries. They're like botched up. Like there's like a lot of people just their asses are missing. It's just a hole now there. It's just like there's no cheeks now. So they went from having no cheeks and then getting it and having it go badly, and then now having even less cheeks than you had before. It looks like this. It looks like if you make a fish face, that's where their butt looks like now. So just fish face butts. And I feel like if you have the cheeks, if you have these types of cheeks, and the one we use, she flips her butt cheek, like she flips it on the other end. That is horrific. I just don't think the surgery is there yet. I don't really think it's not like tatas, tatis and boobies and breastises. Those ones you could just like, those are, we've been pretty good at, perfecting those. Even lips, like you see people with lips. I mean, those people go way too far the other way. And it's like this. But like I said, I mean, that's if you go too far the other way. I'm in the fitness industry, okay? Do some squats, do some lunges, do some bridges, do some hip thrusts, do some band work. You know what I mean? Work with a professional to build that ass. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can squat this, you can do this. Work on that peach. Work on that muscle peach. Don't try to get that plastic peach. That overnight peach. And then you have scars on your butt too. I mean, there's so many different things. So I'm gonna hell nah this. I can't get behind this. Can't get behind these plastic cheeks. And 92% of you said hell no. So I'm actually with that. I get that. And 8% said hell yeah. And I don't know who the 8% is. I should have looked. So yeah, I can't get behind this. So the next one for me is a huge deal. Now I am a huge fan of music. I'm a huge fan of the 70s. I'm a huge fan of even like the late and mid 60s, with Sam Cooke, with really, really old, Percy Sledge, Frank Sinatra, those types of things. This guy's kind of coming into the 70s, and I'm into that. I love stuff like that. But you get into the 80s, and the 80s is where, man, some of these bands, these giant bands come from. So 80s music. Are we in? Hell yeah or hell no? So listen, my mom, as quiet as she was growing up, or as quiet as she was during when I was younger, she kind of played this little quiet church mouse type. And my mom's not like that anymore. She's drastically different. It'd be weird. Like, I'd be like, oh man, and, you'd listen to Journey, or you knew a song, and she'd be like, oh, I saw this band. And you'd be like, what, when? And she'd be like, oh, when I was younger, I saw it. Like, she went to see all these crazy bands like Queen, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Seger. She went to go see all of these like giant bands, Foreigner, like these big bands right now that their songs still get played almost just about the same amount. Led Zeppelin, all of these things, So, and then you had, like, when growing up, my dad, it was like Southern rock. So you'd listen to, all these like Southern, Hank Williams Jr., Alabama, Bob Seger. He listened to more of like the South side of stuff. And so I grew up on 80s music, but I also, and what kills me is when people do this, and it drives me nuts. Who gives a shit when the music was made? It's what it did to you when you heard it. And yes, okay, in full effect, going to the concert in their heyday and seeing the people and seeing the culture, yeah, but the music itself, when you hear it, is what matters. Because trust me, I have clients and I have friends that are be like, how do you know this song? It's like, I know pretty much from the mid 60s all the way up to pretty much like 2012, 2013. You could say I start to kind of get a little blurry after that, because, and not that I think that there's no good music anymore, because that's not true either. And, but 80s is where it's at. I mean, I know 19 Journey songs by heart. I saw Journey, not with Steve Perry, but I saw Journey in Hartford. And dude, the Filipino guy, I forgot his name, who took Steve Perry's place. But so we're watching him, and I mean, I'm with my family. I'm having a blast. I'm wearing a wig and a headband that I stole from the lady next to us. But anyway, so I'm watching him, and he's like, and he's going crazy. And then all of a sudden, the thing when he went to go say Waze, nothing. He fell off the stage. And I remember, because my cousins or my family that was with me, they were so drunk, they kind of just like went with it. They didn't realize that he was like fell off the stage. And then all of a sudden just kind of popped back up and started singing right back into it. So anybody that could fall off the stage and then recover like that, you're good in my book. 80s music all the way. I'm going to hell yeah. And 79% of you said hell yeah. See? 21% of you are trash. No. 21% said hell no. We're going to talk about the weeds. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to talk about the devil's lettuce. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that savage cabbage. Do you know what I mean? We're going to talk about that Marley, that Bob Marley. We're going to talk about the Mary Jane. Do you know what I'm saying? Sticky Icky. Do you know what I mean? Purple Haze, you know? So we're going to talk about the weeds, the marijuana. Okay? Now, before we get into the marijuana, there's two types. There's indica and sativa. Okay? So the first one we'll go through indica. Now, indica just means that you get a body high, relaxed, appetite stimulator, sleep aid, pain relief. Best use for nighttime. Now, somebody that's as high strung as myself, as far as with energy, never really calming down, always kind of going a mile a minute, this would be the one for me. And I might have known from personal experience. I've dabbled. So here's the thing. You have these things in here, and I get it as far as for medically and stuff. This is what I'd be more inclined to do. And as when I first started when I was a kid, because there was like 9 years I didn't smoke, no nothing. It just wasn't for me. I just didn't like it. And, I think that people can be more public with it now, with like smoking and things like that. And I think that now it has more of a medical, because people definitely use it medicinally. People definitely use it for medicine. A lot of people would just say it is medicine. But so you have an indica, heavy indicas, which just kind of tires you out. Now, those are the ones that are the couch lock, the people that are sleeping on the couch. This is the one that they're smoking. So, for me, it's an easy win, because if you're high strung and you're anxious as shit and you're constantly going off the wall, take it, have some of this, just go with it. So I'm gonna hell yeah this, and 68% of you said hell yeah, and 32% said hell no. Now, if we go over to the other one, that other sativa savage cabbage, if we get over to it, okay. The thing is this one is more of a head high, alertness, uplifting and euphoric, creative and increased energy. Do I seem like I need any of that? No. And I found out at a very young age that I did not need any of this. When I was about 15, I went down to the Torringtons. The Torringtons is where I lived, in Coe Park. If you know Torrington, you know where Coe Park is. Shout out to all the Raggies. If you're not from Torrington, Winstead area, you're not allowed to say Raggies. That is just specifically for those areas. But you know what I'm talking about. It's the biggest insult you can call somebody, but here we are. So when I went down there, I was about 15 years old, and I ran into a friend, and I ended up smoking with him at Coe Park, and he said it was a something sativa, and I remember and then he giggled afterwards, right as I exhaled, and and then I remember he said that it was also wet. He said it was also, he put a little something extra in there for me, and his other buddy started laughing too. Some of that angel dust in there. I was not right. I jogged home, and I remember the Coleman, the South Pole or the Coleman suits that matches the sweatsuit. It was like baby blue, and you could have white, red. I've only seen white, red, blue, all of those. So I ran home in that. I had a baby blue one, and I ran all the way home. And my brother and his friends were at the house because my dad wasn't home, and they all were hanging out. And I walked drenched, and it was my own sweat, and I was pale. It was like a piece of paper. I was so pale, like ghostly pale. And I remember I walked by them. They all started, they all were like, they would roast me anyway, but I was getting roasted as I was going. I was acting like I didn't hear them. And then I think they kind of realized, they were like, what's wrong? And I just kind of went in because I was so paranoid that I stripped down, and I remember turning on the shower, and I remember getting in the shower, and then I didn't get out of the shower until one of those guys knocked on the door. They were like, hey man, you all right? I was not all right. I was so paranoid, and I was like, my arms were twitching, and it was like weird. I didn't realize that I'd just been, would not only smoke something I shouldn't have smoked, but then on top of that, I had something else that I shouldn't have smoked. And that was a really good time for me. That was a good lesson learned. And I don't think I don't think I smoked again for a very, very long time. But I remember coming out of the bathroom. I came out of the bathroom, and those dudes were like, "Are you okay?" I didn't realize that I was in that bathtub, curled up into the fetal position until the water turned cold, which it doesn't say a lot because we lived in a really shitty neighborhood. But I didn't realize that I was in there for like 25 minutes. I was in there for a long time. I was like super pruny, shaky, pale, and I went to sleep. I wasn't the same for weeks. I don't even know if I ever was the same. I don't even know. But, it's so bad when that don't make fun of you. You know what happens when you're 15, 16 and your brother has his like 17, 18-year-old friends over, 19? They will roast the shit out of you. Do you know what type of bad shit has to happen for them not to roast you? You have to look terrible. So it must have looked like death. So for me, I'm going to give it a big old hell no, because I've just had a bad experience after bad experience with that. So I'm going to say no, and 56% of you said hell yeah, and 44% of you said hell no. So it's still a lot of people saying no to that. So I think everybody has a bad weed story, and we all do, and we all have a bad edible story. I think that's like the rites of passage to have a really terrible edible story. But I didn't want to tell my story because my story would be too easy. So I wanted to tell a story where something happened, and I really felt strongly. It's been in my mind for quite some time. I need to get it off my chest. I'm an older person now, so I'm okay with it. So I remember when I was probably around 15, 16. And my mother rented out a place in Rhode Island. She rented out a place in Rhode Island, and I said I was going to come up later. I didn't want to go up with her because I was able to go with my sister's boyfriend and my good friend to drive up there to Rhode Island. So in this absence of an adult in my house, we had taken it upon ourselves to make the pot brownies, the good old brownie edibles. And he said it was a really chill time. It was really good, nice, relaxing type of stuff we were using. So we did. House smells like weed. You just open up all the windows, let it all flow out. Now, when we arrived in Rhode Island, everybody was very happy. Everybody's having a very good time. We arrive, and my mom, I had taken half of the brownie and ate it on the way to there because they were like, eat a whole one. And then anytime a friend tells you with an edible to eat a whole one, you eat a half. You're going to go for a ride. So the thing is then we put the brownies downstairs in the pool table. It was like all, like when you rent out a house, like all rusty bikes and like shit downstairs that people leave over. So I put them on the pool table, and I come upstairs. My mom is just, oh my God, she's glaring at me. She knows, and I know that she knows. She's just like, oh my God, she's rolling her eyes, and I can't believe you, and all this other stuff. So I go downstairs, and my sneaky little brother, the chocoholic that he is eating one of these brownies that we've left on the pool table. And he is very young. He is like maybe like 11, 12, maybe 10, 11, 12. I can't remember. And I go, where did you get those brownies? Knowing full well where he got those brownies. And he looked at me and goes, they're good. I like them. And he goes, they taste kind of weird. And I go, nope. So I go, those aren't yours. You should have asked. And I wrapped them back up and then took the brownie from him and did this. But he has already eaten like 3/4 of this brownie. So immediately I knew. I was like, oh God, we have about 35 minutes, 40 minutes till all hell breaks loose. So I go, hey man, hey, do you want to go in the beach? We'll go swimming and we'll go hang out, trying to cover my ass and my sister's boyfriend. So we go out. We are playing in the sand. We are going in the water, fighting the waves. We're that family, the ones that are out there because we barely ever got out and barely went on vacation. So any opportunity, we're in the sand. We're not those cool people with the glasses just sitting there. We're the ones that are in there, and we are getting it done. So For me, I think that what I've learned is to kind of just bring the situation down. And so he's out there having fun. He's got his boogie board. I've got my boogie board, and now I'm really watching him. And I could see right when it turned. I could see it. And what happened is we went from playing, him being talkative, like, oh, we're going to go get that wave, to all of a sudden being silent and then being in the moment. He had been consumed by the savage cabbage. And I watched him take the wave different. I watched him react to it hitting him different. I watched him literally look up. I watched him look up, eyes shut, letting the water flow over him. I remembered this. I also was I was up there too. And I remember watching him and just going, oh my God, I am in so much trouble. I am in deep shit. And then he came out and he goes, wow, the waves feel different. And I went, yes, the waves do feel different. Now, this isn't my fault. I didn't leave the brownies there. This is my sister's ex-boyfriend's fault. But I just didn't want anybody to get in trouble. So I got scared. I was so scared that we were going to get in trouble. But then I was like, my eyes are already red. And my eyes are red now because of the salt water. And his eyes are red because of the salt water. And if I can keep him away from my mother and my family inside for just a little bit longer, this will be better. So I was like, hey, we should make sandcastles. Now we're making sandcastles. I'm watching him scoop the sand out, put it on his, just put it on him. I'm watching him take sand, that's the sand and water, and you drip it on your skin. You're just watching it come down, then it turns dry. I'm watching all that. He's having a blast. You know what I mean? Really getting the sensory part of this. We're having a good time. We're starting to get a little red, so we go inside. And I remember looking at my mom. She's looking at me, shaking her head at me, and then she's looking at Caleb, and he passed the test. He passed the look test. So I was like, oh, this is great. I can't, and to be honest with you, he wasn't even like freaking out. I was freaking out way more than he was in my head. And he's old now. He's like 28 now, 28 now. So to watch your little brother go through such a great experience, and the Devil's Lettuce did it. And I still don't know if my mom knows, but she knows now. And this is not going to be, I'm probably going to get in deep shit for this. But I had to say it. I felt it in my heart. I needed to say it. And if it helps, my little brother loves brownies now, but he doesn't like them, like that. He loves to eat the brownies. Has a hell of a sweet tooth. I just wanted to tell a story of when a extremely young man had his first edible experience. And I'm sure he still remembers how the water hit his skin and the sand was in his hair and all that stuff. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time to be alive. So listen, I'm going to go get yelled at, and I will see you guys all next week, or maybe not. So I'm out of here. All right, later, everybody.